Hello, and welcome to a chit chat with me. I just decided that I think it would be fun to have like a little chit chat series where I just talk about whatever I want to talk about. And so I was thinking the other day, and I was thinking about if I could go back and tell my younger self anything, like what are the things that I would actually tell her, and like what would actually help with her growth without telling her what happens in life, if that makes sense. Because you want to give lessons, not necessarily like, this happened, this happened. You don't want to spoil it for them, right? So, with that, I have about 5 things that I came up with that I would love to be able to tell my younger self. However, if you haven't ever seen me before, hello, my name is Kat. And my whole goal in life is to live an authentic and fulfilling lifestyle, which means that I have to just kind of be me, right? And that means that I should be encouraging my younger self to do the same thing so she can get to this point a little bit faster or maybe a little bit easier. So, with that, number one, you don't have to shrink in order to be loved. And that sounds very obvious. However, I think we don't really understand a lot of the ways that we shrink. And so, what I mean by this is more so like, I think we have all done a really good job at figuring out what other people like and not intentionally manipulating them for the sake of manipulating them, but manipulating them in a way where we can feel a sense of fitting in. And I think we're really, really good at that as a society of playing a role, playing a character. And so it's just kind of a weird thing where we're all playing a character to fit in with a bunch of characters instead of all being ourselves and finding people that actually like us for who we are. Because those people obviously exist, right? And it's so interesting because you can almost think of life like a For You page. It's whatever you put more focus and energy towards that you're going to get more and more of that back. So when you heart something on your For You page, you're going to get like 5 more videos that are around that same topic. And you can easily change your For You page, which is going to change your perspective on the world and what you think people are talking about. And I think that's just, it goes to show that if I were to talk to my younger self, I'd be like, hey, you need to figure out what your thoughts and beliefs are, because they're not problematic. There are other people out there that are gonna love you for those, but if you keep faking it, you're gonna keep bringing in those things that you're faking liking. So you're never going to feel good within yourself because you're not on the right For You page, if that makes sense. So I think that would be the first thing that I would have to tell her, because again, it shows you to be yourself, to be authentic, because you will draw in the right people, and those right people will make you feel loved. The second thing I have is the life you dream of is not too much. Because I think the best way to think about it is you can get anything you want in this life. If you are determined enough, if you put your energy towards it enough, you'll get it. That's quite literally how the universe works. Is you create an idea, and the more you repeat it in your mind, the more you subconsciously go towards it, and the more that you can align your external behaviors with your internal thoughts, you will achieve what you want to achieve, because you will figure it out. You're always going to figure it out. The things that you truly want and believe you deserve. Because if you don't believe that you deserve it, you're never going to get it. Because your brain is always going to stop you from achieving it because it doesn't think you deserve it. So it's basically telling my younger self, hey, figure out what exactly it is that you want in this life. Don't think too small. There is no such thing as too big. And fucking go after it. Anything you want is yours if you truly want it and believe you deserve it. The second those two things click into place, you will begin on a journey that will take you places that you always hoped to go. So I think that would be my second lesson, is just like don't shrink yourself, and don't ever feel like the things you want are impossible. I think so many people want to say, well, that's just not realistic. What do you mean it's not realistic? Why is it not realistic? It's not realistic because in your mind, you don't believe normal people deserve that. But at the same time, why are we all thinking that we're normal? The reason that we're thinking that we're normal is because we were always taught that we were safer to believe the worst in ourselves and the worst in our lives, so we would never be disappointed. But that is avoidance. That just means that you don't actually know how to properly cope with adversity. That's all that is. You're trying to avoid the feeling of disappointment instead of understanding how to feel it, let it flow through you, and keep moving forward. That's the emotional tools that we missed out on as children, because the previous generations weren't taught that either. So I think that would be my second lesson, or my second concept I would tell my younger self. With that, kind of piggybacking off of that, is number 3. Pain is what you make out of it. So when bad things happen to you, you can either choose to sit in it, to stew in it, to feel bad for yourself and play victim. Totally acceptable. You can do whatever you want in this life. That's actually my whole point, is you can do whatever you want in this life. With that, you're still going to have challenges. You're going to have obstacles. You're going to feel pain, and you're going to feel suffering. But it's only pain and suffering if you choose to view it that way. You can also view it as a challenge or an obstacle, in the sense that people love obstacle courses. I guess people love pain too, but my point more so is the lens at which you look is the key to taking the perceived negative things and turning them into a positive. You actually have the ability to not believe anything is a challenge. Like when you start to just view it as, oh, okay, this is an opportunity. Life completely changes. When your car breaks down, but you have to be somewhere in 20 minutes, how are you going to get there? You're like, oh, a little riddle for myself. How exciting. That's one way to look at it. Or you're like, I could cry in my car and stay put and act like I have no way out of this. You have both options, whatever you want to do. And it's like, why would you not choose to think of it as a fun riddle? You know? And so I think that would be a third lesson that I would relay to a past self, is if you don't like your situation, stop viewing it as something that you're forced into. Stop viewing it as a trap. Start viewing it as an opportunity. And the second that you use your pain as an opportunity, you're going to go places. You're going to make something of yourself, and you're going to make something of your life, and you're going to love it so much more. All of that is to say, number 4 is a very important one, because I think a lot of the time we do get caught up in trying to create opportunities for ourselves. But we do it in a way where it harms us because of the fact that we are not respecting that we are a part of nature. And every single creature and being needs to rest. If you're not resting, you're not recuperating, you can't actually view anything as an opportunity because you're so tired. Energy is the most valuable currency, and you need to have energy to function. And how do you get energy? You have to understand that you have to rest. So it's this whole understanding of, do not believe what society's telling you, and not resting makes you lazy. Rest is not laziness. That's number 4. Because we are in a society that believes overproductivity is key. It's really, really hard for us to sit still. And you notice it in children, you notice it in the amount of kids that have ADD, ADHD. It is programmed into them, not only in the ways that their parents act, but energy is generational trauma is energy, right? It's energy being passed through body to body to body. So a lot of the time what happens is when a woman is pregnant, you're carrying the previous energy of past generations. So if they also felt those things, if they felt overly anxious, if they felt tension in certain situations, that energy literally passes through you as you are being born. It gets passed on through you. So unless you recognize, oh, this isn't me, I don't think this way, unless you're able to figure out how to get rid of said energy, it's going to stay within you. So you have to actively go out of your way to reprogram your nervous system and your subconscious, as well as your conscious, to understand that you are human and you deserve to sit still. You deserve to rest, mind, body, and spirit. It's actually essential. It's not a privilege. And I think this one would have saved me from a lot of situations if I knew this sooner, if I could comprehend this sooner. So that was number 4. And number 5, I think we get it so stuck in our heads that we have to learn from someone else. The truth of the matter is that all of the geniuses have broken rules. That is the game, is learning the game to break the rules. Know the rules to break the rules. And if you're going to be a trailblazer, an authority, someone who's coming up with something new, it's not going to be something that you're regurgitating that's learned. The whole point is to take in information, whether that be something that you're researching or something that you're experimenting with yourself. We don't give enough credit to our personal lived experiences. And the reason I say this is because there's so many times like I've said something and someone will be like, did you read that on the internet? And I'm like, no, I actually came up with that myself based on the information that I've been provided and I've experienced. And it's so weird because it's like, why do we have this mindset that you have to read it and regurgitate? Like, how do you think these ideas came to be in the first place? It's through communication. It's through innovation. And until we realize you are allowed to rewrite the rules, we stay stuck. There is no transformation in keeping the rules the same despite the circumstances being different. And I think you could even see that on a larger scale when you look at the laws, like the laws of the United States. This is fun little excerpt, little story. I went to go read tarot cards in Bryant Park, and within minutes, a policeman came over to me and told me of all the things that are allowed in Bryant Park, tarot readings or fortune telling is prohibited. So I had to switch, and I ended up going to Central Park. But before I did that, I was like, this feels really wrong. Like, this feels very weird for me to not be able to do. And I started looking into it, and it turns out that it is actually still illegal in 4 states to do any kind of fortune telling at all. In Oklahoma, North Carolina, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, it is illegal to read tarot cards. And for what? And for why? It's almost as if those rules were made during the time of the Salem witch trials, you know, and those fears just they never kept up with society. Now we have a society that is more aware and okay with different forms of spirituality. Why did our laws not keep up with it? You know? And so this applies on a smaller scale as well when it comes to our personal lives. When it comes to, I can rewrite the rules. Whatever was given down to me by parents, teachers, leaders of any kind that I've had in my life, I don't have to take those on, especially if they no longer apply to me. So I can recreate my own rules. I don't have to have mental traps just to have mental traps. Those are someone else's mental traps. Those aren't my rules. So I think being able to realize, like, I don't always have to ask or stay in line with someone else's rules would be a complete game changer, because that would allow me to just start doing whatever intuitive ideas come to me, and following it helps you to follow your true aligned path instead of feeling like you need to adapt to society's rules. Society is the collection of people. You change society by changing the collection. And that starts with a singular person. And it starts whenever they start to change, there's a ripple effect. And that's how you change society. And that's the whole point of everything I'm doing. So if I had known this earlier, if I had realized this earlier, like, how far along would I be right now? How far along as a society would we be right now? So that's kind of my little chit chat. If you have any other lessons that you think you would like to tell to your younger self, please drop them in the comments below. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a like. And if you're interested in more of my thoughts, ideas, and philosophies, check out my Patreon. I have a couple of different tiers that you can check out, or I actually just wrote a book called The Devil's Odyssey. That's under collections, and it'll give you more insight to why I feel the way that I do about the certain lessons that I chose to teach my younger self. So if you're interested, again, link is in bio, link is also in the description. And yeah, it's always lovely chatting. If you want to hear more, obviously follow along or subscribe. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day. All my love to you. Mwah.